And how might I help the garrison today?
Haven't seen any of those beastly blue eyes. Do be careful.
I will. Let's go.
Yeah! What do I owe the honour? So, what'll it be? Should last you a good while. Anything else?
Clive! Rutherford informs me that we owe you our thanks. Hadn't intended for you to get involved, but such are the times we live in, huh?
I would have done the same.
You're far too modest, Clive. You'd make a terrible nobleman.
From what little I saw.
I suppose I should have expected the worst. But I was rather hoping the great and good of the realm might have things that... Alas, it seems that firm leadership is in short supply. We must move.
But where do we start?
True, the realm's armies, as you certain...
Of course, as long as chaos reigns, we will never build a... And if that... I'll leave what you sent.
Oh.
Excellent.
No.
Say what you will, Lady Karen has seen us.
Pining for something, boy. What is it? What do you see out there? I never did ask where you got that anklet of yours.
From Sid, that's why. On the day he brought him home.
That long ago?
And you're only thinking to ask this now? Sid saw that the pup had a habit of gnawing on his leg, since you ask. Clap that there iron on him to keep him from doing it.
What was wrong, boy?
I'll take like as not. Must have been hard on the poor whelp losing his loving masters at such a young age. Doubly hard in being a frost wolf, torn away from his icons and all. Sid would always tell him, you want that iron gone, you find what it is you're looking for. I reckon what he were looking for was you.
I'm sorry, Torgal. Sorry for making you wait so long. Let's get that thing off you.
Doesn't sound like he wants it off.
Indeed. You miss Sid as much as the rest of us, don't you? You want me to go with you somewhere?
Quick, aren't you? Glad you've been paying attention.
Not nearly as much as you have, Lady Karen.
Aye, good thing and all. It's not like Gav would have kept him in nuts and rubbed his belly these past 10 summers.
Your kindness is appreciated. You've been a good friend to him.
Only because he doesn't talk back like the rest of you.
Where to then, Torgal? All right, Torgal. Where are you taking me? I'm going to need a little bit more than that, boy. Do you have a better hint for me? Unless... you've already given me one. Back on the rear deck, you were looking west, toward Rosaria. Why don't we try the rookery? I haven't been to the island in... To Port Isolde, then. Fingers crossed the old mooring is still there. It's still here. After all these years. A lot smaller than I remember. And you're a lot bigger. You might have to... I wasn't being serious. This place hasn't changed at all. The rookery's right through those trees. Come on. Race you there? I bet I could still beat you. Here we are. This was our hideaway. Wasn't it, Torgal? Coming here helped me to forget who I was. Or wasn't. Prince, Shield. Son his mother could love. Had I been any one of those things? Perhaps. What is it, boy? This is all from the castle. And Phoenix Gate. Did you bring these here? My sparring sword. Well, well. You never stopped looking for me, did you, boy? Thank you, Torgal. For never giving up. For never forgetting. Let's take this with us, shall we? So I don't forget either. That's not the way back to the boat, Torgal. All right. I'm coming. I think I know where we're going. People always talk about the importance of putting the past behind you. But without it, we wouldn't be who we are today. And we certainly couldn't steer our way to a better tomorrow. Come on, Torgal. Let's go home.
Do you see that too?
What is it? Oh, please. I'm scared.
Come on. Faster! Can't be Rutherford, can it?
Turncoats and cowards, the lot of you! If...
Allow me.
I don't need your...
Please, Field Marshal, oblige him.
This won't take long.
You're right. It won't. Men.
finished.
A little longer than I'd have liked. Field Marshal Havel, I presume. Are either of you injured?
No, my lord. You arrived just as I
Fucking traitors. I'd heard a report, but I hadn't thought the corruption had reached so... It's a fucking Your interfering old bastard of an uncle tried to warn me. My lord Marquis. Or is Sid the outlaw Mortior...
Call me what you want. It doesn't change who I am, or the urgency of the message I bring. My uncle has a plan.
Before I agree to anything, I'd have you answer one question. What do you stand to gain from all this?
I won't deny that I might benefit from further chaos, that I seek a new beginning for. And while the choices I've made may not all... I know, for so long, so many of us have been told how we could... when it should have been our decision all along. But in order to take it, we must stand together. Even if it be beside those with whom we don't see eye.
Certainly not the words I expected from an outlaw. You are, no, I'll never hear the end of it. All right. I'll start by ordering my most trusted guard to bring the Dhalmekian fringes. Next, I'll make contact with my counterparts in the Imperial Army and see...
Thank you, Field Marshal.
But they are not the only ones.
What do you mean?
I don't doubt that I can bully some sense into a few generals. But those they answer to, we will need an envoy. One who can court even...
I'm flattered. And I have other problems. What we need is a skilled...
Is that, sir? And would he have...
Of a different kind.
I suppose we'll all have to find a little of the outlaw in ourselves if we're to make it...
I shall.
my lord your lord uncle bade me escort the field.
And I will see that my associate joins you there.
Very good.
An envoy. I'm not sure I'm the man to talk anyone right. I can barely convince my brother to take his medicine. Someone like Quentin. I hope I can... Quentin.
Do you know? Something tells me you'll be out. Go on, then. You'd have me convince the chiefs and chamberlains of the realm that they should... and do the one thing that has proved impossible for thousands...
I know it's a lot to ask.
And you'd have me give up what little I have left to... The people of Lostwing are my family. You'll have to find someone else.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And why might that be?
What he's asking. How's it any... They want you to speak for those who can't speak for themselves. That's what you do best. If it's the vineyard, we'll see that the grapes are picked and the tons filled. You know...
It's not that.
Then what is it? You said you...
You know that's not what I...
Then what are you? That only we are worth saving? Why turn your back on everyone else? You convinced us. Who's to say you couldn't convince the...
A stirring argument. I fear that any rejoinder I make might fall...
So you'll join us? Field Marshal Havel will want to speak with you in person. I can arrange for a party of Cursebreakers.
That would be very much appreciated. I hear the roads are far from...
Oh. My uncle will want to know that his plan is taking shape. Uncle, the Field Marshal... Rutherford is accompanying him back to your manor in Port. They will await your return there. As will one other.
One other? Who?
Lord Havel was concerned that even if he could get the realm's armies to agree to an accord, he might not be as successful in convincing those with political power. He asked if I might have a solution, and I suggested a certain Imperial Lord Magistrate.
One of your co-conspirators?
Master Quinton would probably call me one of his. But yes.
Another outlaw, then. Just the thing we need to put these rotten politicos in their places. Good thinking, Clive.
I'm glad you approve.
The more the merrier, eh?
Uncle, assuming Havel and Quinton can solve our problem with the armies, you still haven't mentioned how we might manage the grain shortages.
Oh, don't you worry, my boy. The 7 high houses will be seeing to that. They have all agreed to make the most generous of donations. Oh, of course, it did take a little persuasion, but luckily I had some unexpected help.
From who?
Why, you, my boy. Rumor has it that you rescued the Lady Ari...
It was more of a hand...
Well, the old battle, she had a shipload of talents delivered to my private docks by the next new moon. And when the other houses saw the parsimonious old crone's purse strings finally loosen, they as good as... Now, I must join us there at your earliest convenience.
Of course, Uncle.
And how, pray tell, will we get that grain to the capital if the roads are still open?
You'll find another bloody road. I only have so many men, and I'm not about to send them headlong into an ether flood. That is, unless you'd have them
Well, I'd certainly eat less.
Says the man with a belly bigger than a bat. My soldiers actually need their rations. Without, they'll be dead even before you've...
Perhaps I might suggest, though supply routes are indeed disrupted, there is no shortage of ships. Indeed, they bob away in every bay from... Allow them to make port and fill their bellies full of grain. And once those who crowd the cities are fed... but I'm sure that you wish to continue your 2 such firm friends as yourselves need... Rutherford spoke fondly of the great bond.
Us?
I can't stand...
Clive, I'm beginning to question the quality of the company you keep.
And what kind of company were you expecting him to keep them?
Criminal? How? You are not fit to breathe the same air as this... Fuck!
Upstanding! He calls himself Sid the Bloody Outlaw!
Once more onto the breach.
Shall we begin again? What we seek here is not to create a new nation. We wish simply to bring stability to the... And to do that, we must convince those in power. There will be disagreements, yes. And I imagine some if we show them the path. Show them that the fate of the world lies in my nephew, but the well-being of her people lies in our...
Uncle Byron,
Now, with that settled, let's move on to that. For what great moment in history hasn't... Citizens of Valisthea, I present to you the Tri-Unity. Rutherford, Mike Will. Well, my boy.
That it is.
This is the role you were born for. Now I ask only that you trust and we shall play our parts to the best of our abilities. That you might have the opportunity. The realm needs its Sir Crandall. I want you to keep this signed accord.
I will.
What do you think that thing is? And how the hell is it?
Sid, I was wondering...
It depends what we're...
A bearer, but recently freed from his bonds. As you know, the work we do is not easy, which is why we test every volunteer's suitability.
I don't mind, but...
Because he wants to be a... Our ranks are filled with men and women capable of breaking chains and putting But scouting, we're few with the nose for that, which is why we... And since he accompanies you on so many of your missions, I thought you might be better placed to reckon...
Sounds reasonable.
So you're happy to oversee the boys' test?
One can never have too many scouts.
Truer words, Sid. I'll let the initiate know that you'll be attending his trial, and that he is to proceed directly to Northreach in readiness.
No time like the present, eh?
No time like the present.
Northreach. I don't suppose they could have chosen somewhere closer. Vivian, and I'd be happy to help you find the book.
Thank you, Clive. But tracking it down...
Please. You have always... It's only right that I return the favor.
You are too kind. Alas, what I ask of you is rather more trying than delivering the... I spoke with Harpocrates to see if he had any inkling as... But perhaps...
If you say so.
Forgive me, but this book... It set me on the path to becoming who I am.
Ah, Clive.
Joshua, what's wrong?
I've received word from Cyril. The Undying have found Father's will.
His will?
In the crypt beneath Rosalith Castle. After Kupka was kind enough to drive out the Imperials, the Undying took the opportunity to recover what relics of the Duchy yet remained. And in the process of doing so, they found...
I'm surprised anything survived that.
Cyril asked that I join him in Tabor at my convenience.
Of course. I want to know what's in that letter.
Very well.
Clive, my boy.
Harpocrates. I've been charged with locating a book.
And you seek a rare one whose name I had not thought to hear from your lips. You've been talking to Vit.
Right as always. But she didn't seem keen to tell me very much.
And yet I gather it did naught to dissuade her. Clive, if the young... I fear she asks the impossible. The executors would not allow it.
The executors?
Coveters of Secrets, a clandestine organization committed to the collection and intenebration of forbidden text. One such text being the tome Vivian seeks, chronicling as it does a tale which could overturn the established order, or so rumor has it.
How is it that I haven't heard of this
Why, secrecy is the executor's watchword. They lurk in the shadows, emerging only to seize that which must be seized, be it...
Which would explain why Vivian's copy was snatched from her grasp.
By the hand of the
But what drives them?
Fine question. Sadly, all that is known of the... You may just as soon ask me of their origins, numbers, or the...
And my hunt was doomed from the first. What was Vivian expecting?
Not from thin air, no. Rumors of the executors are rife, but rather less so. I had a friend in the village of Garnick, a collector of rare tomes. Alas, I have heard naught from him since the but Though he did not mention it by name, it is possible. If you were, by some chance, able to save even a single book from the poor man.
Very well. When I next find, I'll be sure to pay Garnick a visit. Don't get surrounded. Be safe. Fly, Ambrosia. The entire village looks abandoned. Now, which house would a bookworm live in? This is a Royal Army logbook. His interests were certainly varied. This is it. But if what it says is true, I need to get this back to the hideaway.
Leaving so soon, stranger? We've been watching you. From a distance, so to speak.
Subtle. I know who you are.
Then we need not waste time on introductions. Hand me the book. Leave it in our care and return to your life.
Your care? Do you mean to burn it, or bury it?
That is not my decision to make. But by one means or another, its contents shall be removed from the common record.
Then I'll have to politely refuse. I won't let you erase our history.
Then we find ourselves at an impasse. Very well. The book can just as easily be pried from your dead hand.
Let's see, shall we?
Impressive, but we have other means.
Why do you want it so badly?
It lays out in no uncertain terms the vanity and avarice of man. It tells the shameful history of the persecution and oppression of a gifted few. Why, would you say that this interpretation was correct?
I don't know.
You don't know. Your sword may be sharp, so let me answer for you. There is no correct interpretation of history. That a series of events took place may be proved beyond a doubt. But there can be no single, immutable explanation, as it is a question of numbers and of belief. If enough people believe that a set of...
So you're trying to control that?
We are trying to protect from knowledge that would bring... That is all. You may keep the book. For now. The world is small. Until then.
Wait. Damn it. Let's get this back to Vivian. Vivian, I found it.
Even though I asked this of you, I fear the executors had seen.
I met with one of the... and I convinced him to let me... He told me something. That the truth is just a matter of collect... and that if enough people believe a lie...
It does, but it also means that the truth is not immutable. Provided that those who wish to change it can convince enough people, as the sad history of the Bearers proves.
You said that the book inspired you to become a scholar.
It did. Or its author. She was a heretic, you see. A gallows stood ready for her in every corner, and by shunning society, or perhaps being shunned by it, she stumbled upon a truth so potent that I, too, have always felt somehow set apart from the world of men. She taught me that my solitude was not a curse, and that, though my journey to the truth might be a lonely one, what I found at my destination would be more than worth.
Do you still feel that way?
Honestly? I'm not entirely sure anymore. Since coming to the Hideaway, I find perhaps the result of studying mankind from a rather... But the more I study, the more I find value in this perspective. In looking not from the outside, but... So if you'll permit me, remember, Clive. When enough people believe, give the men and women of this benighted world the gift of truth.
I'll try, Vivian.
How may I help you today, Clive? All done?
Through...
Sid, do you have a moment?
By all means.
It's my old master. Seems there's no escaping her. And something else. Records from a Waluda...
How did she come by?
Finding bearers always was her strong, and it seems the cells of Balmung Dark are full of them. Foreign captives, the masterless, and even better for her, bearers with no one to look after them.
Leaving the bearers to be liberated by who?
Sid, I'd like to believe that I've earned your... And while I'm well aware that you've forbidden curse breakers from trap, I can't let those bearers die in their cells. I'd rather...
We'll be needing the Enterprise if we're going to navigate.
Does that mean...
I'm making an exception, and we stay no longer than we have to. Ash is an inhospitable place at the best of times. We save as many as we...
Thank you, Sid. Chadwick. Another of my former master's protégés. The thought of him held captive in...
He must be very important to you.
He was.
Then we find him.
The entrance to the prison lies in the shadow of Ravenwit Walls. We should head there as quickly as we can.
As do I. Let's go. do, girl.
Armin's madness lives on.
Rest in peace.
Ready, go?
Have care. Caution, brother.
Doris is waiting for me near Balmung Dark. The longer she's out in the open, the more likely she is to be found by Akashic. I need to hurry. I can walk from here. There were no guards, I take it.
None manning the gates, no. It's a different story inside, though. The corridors are crawling with if Chadwick was being held here...
Don't give up hope just yet. Let me check the ground floor.
Then I'll search the upper level. Good luck, Sid.
Just how bad are the floods inside the walls? Bad enough to... Nabera? I hope not. We're risking a lot just being here. Better keep my eyes open for signs of life.
No sign of any bearers yet. I hope you have better luck downstairs.
So this place was no... And I doubt they'll have taken the creature with them when they fled. Minimal loss of Waluda lives. Even the Imperials take better care of their... They were feeding bearers to it. Nothing but a Kashyyyk down here. Hopefully things are looking better upstairs. I should go and see how Doris is getting on. Ugh. No lock downstairs. But
I know. I've been reading some of these. Bearers die every day in service of their master. Pitting bearers against a wild beast armed with nothing but their wits? And not just those who could fight, but... and those who wouldn't, or couldn't, were...
I'm afraid.
Then we're too late.
Don't say that.
A key.
Perhaps it will fit one of the doors downstairs. Finish up here.
All right.
Let's see what we can find down here. A survivor. She sounds close. There's no need to be afraid. Are you alone?
Some of the guards, they're still here. Everyone else was eaten by the monster.
Of course there were.
Thank the Founder.
It was worth our coming. But I'd rather we didn't linger.
Ready when you are. You poor thing. You must have been terrified.
Did Jadwick send you?
What?
He fought the monster. He must have sent you. Where is he? He opened your cell, didn't he?
Jadwick.
Was that?
Monsters!
We have to get out of...
Doris.
All right. You put that bear...
It's out there waiting for me. I can't let it live. Not if it's got a taste for bearers. get so big?
Cid, are you...
I'm fine. What is it?
A diary. He was here.
I'm sure he fought bravely to the last.
Chadwick.
Come on. We have to get her back to the hideaway. We don't want his
No. I'll see that she's looked after from now on.
From what I hear, you've barely left the girl's side in days.
She is. I thank the flames we found her.
I know. I'm sorry we weren't able to save Chad.
There's no need to apologize. How he fought to the bitter end to save her. To save Haida Marie. That's the man I remember.
I wish I could have met him. I'd like to hear more about your past.
Of course, you already met my former master. She trained Chadwick and I. We were supposed to be sold to the highest bidder when the time came. But no bid was ever high, and for years we were her daggers in the shadows. But we could never quite shake our doubts about the things she made us do. So we escaped. But staying together was out of the question. After so many years of training, the pull to serve was always strong. It scared.
But even in captivity, the battles he fought were his own, and he died not as someone's tool.
Hyde Marie is proof of that. Bearers and the Cursebreakers will show them. I'll fight until my dying breath to see it.
Thank you, Doris.